Chapter 11 Crash straight into it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Then, Li Yener did not hesitate any more, picked up the spiritual fruit and started eating. The moment the spiritual fruit entered her body, Li Yener felt the crazy surge of spiritual power in her body. The new water spirit body was running wildly under the nourishment of the spiritual power of the spiritual fruit, and her cultivation was slowly improving. After eating the spiritual fruit, Li Yener did not waste time, and began to practice using the powerful effect of the spiritual fruit and the spiritual power around her. The surrounding spiritual power and the spiritual power of the spiritual fruit flowed wildly in Li Yener's body. Li Yener's breath was slowly improving. At the same time, Chen Luo's cultivation in her body was also improving at a faster speed. A comfortable feeling filled Chen Luo's whole body. This effect is better than eating spiritual fruit. Not bad, not bad. It feels so good to become stronger without practicing while lying down. Chen Luo was delighted, and this kind of lying down to become stronger was his favorite. However, the speed has not been increased to the limit. Chen Luo thought to himself, Li Yener's cultivation method at this time is only the ground level, blue sea spirit wave art. Compared with ordinary disciples, it is very strong, but it can't satisfy Chen Luo's appetite at all. Next time, I have to find an awesome cultivation method for her to practice, so that I can maximize my tool man. No, help my disciples improve their strength. Chen Luo thought so in his heart. Alas, I'm tired of eating spiritual fruits. Let's eat some pancakes. Xiaobai frowned after eating 2 spiritual fruits, then he took out the pancakes he swept in Tianfeng City and ate them in big mouthfuls. Xiaobai, this kind of thing is not good for your health, don't eat so much. Chen Luo frowned slightly. After saying that, he snatched the pancakes that Xiaobai had not eaten next to him and ate them with relish. Seeing this, Xiaobai immediately competed with Chen Luo, above the sky of Tianfeng City. At this time, there was a large group of cultivators above Tianfeng City. All of them were solemn, waiting in the sky. The leader was a middle-aged man with pale hair. His face was cold and his eyes were looking straight at the distance. Master Ouyang, are you sure that the murderer who killed Huier will pass by here? Next to him, an old man with a bloody aura said slowly. This old man was full of surging blood and energy, as if he had distorted the space, giving people a strong sense of oppression. Other monks next to him also looked at the white-haired monk in front of him in confusion. It turned out that this white-haired monk was Ouyang Feihong. Many monks around were invited by Ouyang Feihong to help him catch the murderer who killed his son. The one with a bloody aura was an elder of the Blood Spirit Sect, the Blood Jade Saint of the Third Heaven of Saints. Don't worry, I won't joke about this kind of thing. I planted the mark of life and death on my child's body. Now it has been completely activated. I can feel that the mark of life and death is approaching this side at a very fast speed. Ouyang Feihong said lightly. It's coming this way. It can't be someone from the Daotian sect. From the west to Tianfeng City, all the way forward, that's the territory of the Daotian sect. The Blood Jade Saint frowned slightly. No matter who it is, I will make him pay the price for killing my son, even if it's the King of Heaven. Ouyang Feihong said lightly, his eyes full of madness and fierceness. Everyone around felt Ouyang Feihong's madness. However, they all got the benefits of Ouyang Feihong, so they didn't mean to retreat. After all, no matter how strong the Daotian sect is, it can't cover the sky with one hand. Moreover, the person next to him is the elder of the Blood Spirit Sect, which is the top evil force in the East region and has a very prominent reputation in the East region. However, if it's someone from the Daotian sect, it's not easy to deal with. Although I'm not afraid, I don't want to make enemies with them. The Blood Jade Saint continued in a deep voice. What? What do you mean, you want to retreat now? Ouyang Feihong turned around and stared at the Blood Jade Saint next to him. Although Ouyang Feihong had just broken through the Saint realm, the aura on his body was no faster than that of the old saint like the Blood Jade Saint. No, I mean, you have to pay more. That the Blood Jade Saint continued faintly. In the sky not far from Tianfeng City, a luxurious flying boat was flying forward at a high speed. The rapid speed set off countless rainbow lights. In the flying boat, Xiaobai was driving the flying boat towards Tianzhu Peak. Chen Luo was full and rested with his eyes closed. On the other side, Li Yener did not miss any opportunity to practice, and was constantly absorbing the spiritual power around her and the spiritual power of the 1,000-year-old spiritual fruit in her body to become stronger. Looking at Li Yener, who worked so hard, Chen Luo was full of relief. Not bad, not bad, keep working hard, the harder you practice, the more I will get, or, let's recruit some more disciples. Chen Luo's heart moved. This function of returning the effect of practice is really amazing. When the disciples practice, I will directly get 10 times the effect of practice. If there are more disciples, my practice will take off. Now, Chen Luo has some understanding of the ancient continent. Although the saint realm is very strong, it is not the strongest. There are saint kings, great saints, and even emperors who surpass the great saints. They are the real masters of the ancient continent. Let's develop slowly and set a small goal. If you don't become a great saint, you won't leave the mountain, he thought to himself. Master, master, there seem to be a lot of people blocking the way ahead. Just then, Xiao Bai's voice interrupted Chen Luo's thoughts. Someone is blocking the way there. Chen Luo narrowed his eyes slightly, and then released his mental power. Chen Luo released his mental power, and the scene in the distance appeared in Chen Luo's mind. It was found that there were indeed quite a few cultivators in front of him. These cultivators were carrying extremely majestic auras, as if they were going to suppress everything, especially the two in the lead, who made the surrounding space seem a little suffocating. Name, Ouyang Feihong, age, 200 years old, realm, first level of the Saint Realm, identity, patriarch of the Ouyang family in Tianfeng City, constitution, spiritual Yuan body, qualification, holy product, qualification of a saint, name, blood jade, age, 1,350 years old, realm, third level of the Saint Realm, identity, elder of the blood spirit cult of the ancient continent, constitution, blood evil body. The rest were mostly strong men at the peak of the creation realm, and they all stared at the direction where Chen Luo was. Ouyang Feihong, Shuiyu, two saints. Don't worry about them, just run over. Chen Luo said calmly, his eyes full of coldness. Chapter 12 Easy Crush. You are listening at novelfull.audio. These people obviously have bad intentions. That Ouyang Feihong is most likely the adopted father of Ouyang Hui, who came to seek revenge. Chen Luo would not waste time talking to them, and would just use the holy product flying boat to hit them. This flying boat is a luxurious flying boat of holy products, with a large number of powerful inscriptions around it, which contains extremely strong attack and defense. It can easily crush some low-level saints. Those two guys are just seeking death. By blocking the road in such a place, Chen Luo also wants to see how powerful the impact of this flying boat is, and whether it can directly hit them to death. Got it, I'm going to speed up. Xiao Bai is not a quiet person, and immediately controls the flying boat and increases the speed to the limit. Swish swish swish. Under the urging of the top-grade spirit stone and Xiao Bai, the flying boat seemed to have turned into a meteor, and flew forward rapidly. The various inscriptions around the flying boat were also fully activated by the top-grade spirit stone. The majestic aura circulated around the flying boat. The murderer is in that flying boat. Hurry up, stop them, I want that guy to die without a burial place. Ouyang Feihong saw the flying boat speeding towards him, and the mark on his forehead flashed wildly. After hearing this, everyone activated the terrifying spiritual power on their bodies and bombarded the flying boat. Countless spiritual power attacks rushed with swift and boundless power, especially Ouyang Feihong and the Blood Jade Saint. The attack containing the power of the Holy Way was about to crush everything. Boom boom. In an instant, the area where the flying boat was located was wrapped in countless spiritual power attacks. With a fierce roar, the place where the flying boat was located was shrouded in countless thick smoke. I let you kill my child, I want you to die without a burial place, ha ha ha. Ouyang Feihong looked pleased. He didn't expect that things would end so smoothly, and he easily solved them. The others also breathed a sigh of relief. It's good to solve it, it's good to solve it. Swish, swish, swish. Just when everyone was still rejoicing, the holy flying boat, like an extremely powerful beast, was filled with unparalleled destructive energy and violently crashed into them. The huge impact force directly knocked everyone away, and most of the people were killed by this terrifying impact force and terrifying energy. countless blood and broken meat splashed everywhere in the sky. Ouyang Feihong and the Blood Jade Saint were also directly blown away by this huge impact force. How is it possible? Ouyang Feihong looked at the flying boat that was safe and sound not far away, his eyes full of horror. It was incredible that the two saints, with so many peak powerhouses in the realm of creation, could not break a flying boat. The Blood Jade Saint on the side also felt a little surprised. How powerful was their joint bombardment, but they could not break the flying boat. You succeeded in angering me. Just then, a cold voice echoed in the sky. Both Ouyang Feihong and the Blood Jade Saint felt their scalps tingling, as if they were being stared at by some terrifying existence. Then, a flash of spiritual light flashed, and a handsome young man who looked like a banished immortal appeared in front of the two. The young man was Chen Luo, and Chen Luo underestimated the strength of these people, unexpectedly. Their attack actually caused the holy flying boat to shake a little bit. Chen Luo was eating spiritual fruit at the time, and the slight shaking made Chen Luo choke. Damn it, if I were still an ordinary person, I would have choked to death. These people must not be let go, and they must be severely punished. You killed my child. That the mark on Ouyang Feihong's forehead flashed wildly, and the look in his eyes when he looked at Chen Luo was extremely cold. Bang! As soon as Ouyang Feihong finished speaking, Chen Luo appeared in front of Ouyang Feihong, condensed his palm into a fist, and punched out heavily. With a fierce roar of qi, Chen Luo's fist instantly hit Ouyang Feihong's body. Ouyang Feihong's body was directly smashed into pieces by Chen Luo's terrifying power, and blood and pieces of meat splattered everywhere. A strong smell of blood continued to flow around. Ouyang Feihong, who had just broken through the Saint realm, was killed by Chen Luo's simple punch. The Blood Jade Saint not far away saw Chen Luo's terrifying and unparalleled power. His body froze, and cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Where did this pervert come from? He killed a saint with one punch. It's too scary. He can kill Ouyang Feihong with one punch. That doesn't it mean that he can also understand himself easily? The Blood Jade Saint regretted it so much at this moment. He should not have agreed to Ouyang Feihong to intercept this murderer. This evil star might even kill him, not to mention the others. They didn't even dare to breathe, for fear of causing Chen Luo to move and be killed directly. Senior, we are just passing by, and have nothing to do with Ouyang Feihong. Let us go. Yes, let us go. We are just passing by, and we don't know what's going on. Please spare me, Senior. The people around him begged for mercy. Their bodies were completely out of control. Boom boom. Before everyone finished speaking, a majestic aura appeared on Chen Luo's body. It was just the divine power of the Chaos God body, which had a very strong pressure, as if it was going to tear the entire space apart. Crack. After a moment, the many powerful men around were directly crushed into blood mist by Chen Luo's Chaos God body divine power. The entire sky was filled with monstrous blood power. So, is the Chaos God body so strong? Chen Luo was pleasantly surprised. The power of the Chaos God body was completely beyond his imagination. This divine power was just a small trick of the Chaos God body. The power of divine power was unparalleled, and it was simply invincible against those low-level guys. Although he could easily kill many enemies before, however, it was still impossible to destroy a large number of enemies so easily. In the sky, only one Blood Jade Saint was left struggling to resist the divine power of Chen Luo's Chaos God body. Senior. I am from the Blood Spirit Sect. Senior, can you spare my life? The Blood Jade Saint looked at Chen Luo, who looked like a fallen immortal, and was completely enveloped in despair. This is simply a killer. He killed so many people casually. Now he can only hope that the name of his Blood Spirit Sect is loud enough to make this young man afraid. Blood Spirit Sect. I seem to have heard of it, but it's just an evil force. Are you threatening me? Chen Luo's eyes flashed with a hint of coldness, and he said lightly. Chapter 13 Hua Yuntian's Decision. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A mere elder from an evil force dared to threaten him. Don't dare, I just. The Blood Jade Saint said tremblingly. Chen Luo's words made his hair stand on end, and his body kept sending out warnings. Obviously, Chen Luo's strength has far exceeded his imagination. Under the pressure of Chen Luo's terrifying energy, the Blood Jade Saint had no power to resist. Bang! Before the Blood Jade Saint finished speaking, Chen Luo's fist had already struck him. The huge impact directly stirred up the Blood Jade Saint's mind. A trace of despair flashed across the eyes of the Blood Jade Saint. Chen Luo's powerful power exploded, followed by a violent collision. The Blood Jade Saint was hit hard, and then blasted into pieces by Chen Luo. Blood and minced meat splashed everywhere, and the strong smell of blood filled the entire sky again. It's finally quiet. Looking at the empty area around him, Chen Luo felt calm. For those who are hostile to themselves, it is better to kill them all. If they continue to do so, they will suffer chaos. Chen Luo knew that when cutting weeds, we must get rid of the roots. Otherwise, they would grow again in the spring breeze, causing endless troubles. After this small battle, Chen Luo also had some understanding of his own fighting power. Although Chen Luo is now only at the 3rd level of Saint Realm, Chen Luo is confident that he can easily crush ordinary high-level saints. The Chaos Divine Body is worthy of being a top-level divine body. All aspects of its attributes are astonishingly strong. The physical strength, as well as the spiritual strength of the Chaos Divine Body, are almost dozens of times higher than Chen Luo's previous mortal body. Moreover, as Chen Luo's realm becomes higher and higher, the power of the Chaos Divine Body that Chen Luo can exert will continue to increase. It's solved, let's go back, Chen Luo thought in his heart. Immediately afterwards, Chen Luo packed up their loot and returned to the flying boat. Although these guys are very poor, if they accumulate a little, they can make a huge fortune. Then Chen Luo quickly flew towards the direction of Tianzhu Peak in the Holy Flying Boat. The deaths of Ouyang Feihong and the Blood Jade Saint caused a huge storm in Tianfeng City. The continuous rain of blood and various flesh and blood falling from the sky made many people in Tianfeng City feel an extremely terrifying sense of oppression. The wisps of holy power were constantly floating down above Tianfeng City, leaving an extremely depressing atmosphere in the sky above Tianfeng City. The death of so many powerful people, plus the death of 2 saints, made everyone in Tianfeng City feel extremely unbelievable. Everyone was speculating about the reason and who they met, but all of them were killed in just a few breaths. I don't know who he is, but he killed a large number of people in a few breaths. He is really too strong. Yes, there are 2 saints up there, but they were all killed. It's too cruel. I heard that one of the saints was our head of the Ouyang family in Tianfeng City. His son had just died. He was a breakthrough saint. I didn't expect that he died the next day. TSK, he broke through to the saint at the age of 200. Ouyang Feihong has the potential to break through to the Saint King. It's a pity. Tianfeng City was full of chatter and speculation about who had done it. A powerful monk looked in the direction of Feizhou's departure and remained silent for a long time. He was obviously frightened by this scene. An inn in Tianfeng City, sitting cross-legged on the bed of the inn, was an extraordinary-looking young man. The young man was pale and had many serious injuries on his body. There is a black aura slowly flowing on these wounds. The young man's hands were still holding 2 top-quality spiritual stones, and the spiritual power of the top-quality spiritual stones continued to flow along the young man's meridians. Moisturized by the black aura and the best spiritual stones, the young man's aura became slightly better. The pale face was a little more rosy. Whoosh whoosh. At this moment, the space in the room was distorted, and a black mist emerged from the distorted space. Nightmare Beast, what happened outside? Is that boy from the ancient holy body chasing me? The young man slowly opened his eyes, and a cold look flashed in his eyes. Master, no, it was the Blood Jade Saint of the Blood Spirit Sect and the new saint of the Ouyang family who were beaten to death. The Nightmare Beast said in a hoarse voice. Immediately afterwards, the Nightmare Beast turned into a black puppy and lay on the head of the young man's bed. As long as it's not that guy Xiao Fan. However, 2 saints died unexpectedly. It's interesting, tell me what happened. Yuntian then swallowed a healing pill and said calmly. Nightmare Beast then informed Yuntian of all the information he had gathered. Are you from Daotian Sect? Yuntian looked in the direction of Daotian Sect, and suddenly felt something. and the spiritual power in his body was constantly jumping. A fragment of the magic jar engraved with terrifying runes in his mind was also constantly making a slight trembling sound, and seemed to be extremely active. "We are not going to Yaoguang Holy Land, let's go to Daotian Sect." Yuntian looked in the direction of Daotian Sect and said slowly. "Master, although Daotian Sect is powerful, it is completely inferior to Yaoguang Holy Land. If we go to Daotian Sect and encounter the ancient holy body again, we will be beaten again. No, it is safer to go to Yaoguang Holy Land." The nightmare beast, which had turned into a puppy, kept biting Yuntian's clothes and said anxiously. "That Xuanhuan has no power, and he is also a holy body cursed by the heaven. He can fight a road to heaven. As the descendant of the magic pot, why can't I?" Yuntian said with a cold expression, as if he remembered something unpleasant. It turned out that Yuntian was originally a prodigy of the Xuanhuan sect in the central region. He inherited the magic pot when he was very young. Yuntian originally practiced in the Xuanhuan sect and lived in peace with the world. Unexpectedly, he later met the ancient holy body Xuanhuan. The two sides went through a series of things. Later, Yuntian's identity as the descendant of the magic pot was discovered by Xuanhuan, and the two had a shocking battle. Yuntian was not inferior to Xuanhuan, and finally failed and fled to the east region. Yuntian originally wanted to worship in the Yaoguang Holy Land. He had made full preparations and could definitely worship in the Holy Land, but now Yuntian has changed his mind. He wants to go to Daotian Sect. The nightmare beast beside him trembled and said nothing more. He knew that no one could change the decision made by Yuntian. Besides, this is also the guidance of the magic jar. I, Yuntian, have lost everything now. No matter what, I will make Saint Body Xuanhuan pay the price. Yuntian clenched his fists tightly, and his handsome face was full of determination. Chapter 14 Master of Mingxia Peak. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Daotian Sect, Daoyuan Peak. Daoyuan Peak is one of the most powerful main peaks of Daotian Sect. There is an unusually abundant amount of spiritual energy in the peak, and there are various spiritual plants and spiritual birds. There are many disciples practicing martial arts in Daoyuan Peak, and the atmosphere is extremely harmonious. The disciples of Daoyuanfeng are also among the Daotian Sect, and their talent and strength are considered to be at the forefront. Most of the disciples who want to join Daotian Sect take Daoyuan Peak as their first goal. Who is that person? He is so handsome. He is so handsome. When did our Daotian Sect have such a good-looking disciple? The girl behind him is so beautiful, it makes me drool. That is not the disciple brought back by the master of Tianzhu Peak more than a month ago. I heard that he is immortal, and now he has inherited Tianzhu Peak. What, a mortal can inherit Tianzhu Peak? Are you mistaken? Although Tianzhu Peak has declined, it is still a major peak. What does it mean to let a mortal inherit? The person he brought back must be immortal, right? According to the sect rules, if there are less than 2 members in the peak, they will be taken back. At Daotian Peak, many disciples looked at an unparalleled and handsome young man not far away who looked like a banished immortal. Behind the young man was a stunningly beautiful woman, and the two of them slowly walked towards the summit of Daoyuan Peak. The two people are Chen Luo and Li Yener. After Chen Luo returned to Daotian Sect, he immediately took Li Yener to Daotian Peak to register his identity information. When Wang Lishuan took Chen Luo to get started before, he also came to Daoyuan Peak to register information. Therefore, Chen Luo can be regarded as familiar with the road. Many of the gossips around him also reached Chen Luo's ears. However, Chen Luo didn't care about their words. How could the dragon care about what the ants thought? In Chen Luo's eyes, these disciples are really similar to ants, beings that can be destroyed easily. Li Yener, who was behind Chen Luo, didn't speak, but just followed Chen Luo quietly. I've met Master Chen. Not just when Chen Luo was walking on Daoyuan Peak with Li Yener, a respectful voice came into Chen Luo's ears. Chen Luo looked at the source of the sound and found a slightly familiar figure. It was Shen Lian who broke into Tianzhu Peak before and was taken into Tianzhu Peak. At this time, Shen Lian had completely recovered from his injuries and had once again transformed into a dazzling genius of the sect. Chen Luo nodded slightly, then continued to lead Li Yener inside. Senior brother Shen, this Chen Luo is just a mortal. He became the peak master of Tianzhu Peak due to good luck. Why are you so polite to him? After Chen Luo and the others left, a Daoyuan Peak disciple said to Shen Lian in confusion. The corners of Shen Lian's mouth twitched slightly. Mortal, a mere mortal can control a heaven-defying top monster like the nine-tailed fox, and can turn Tianzhu Peak into this state. Do you think I am a fool? However, Shen Lian didn't explain much. Only those who have experienced this can know. Soon, the two of them arrived at the place where Daotian Peak registered information. The disciple registration information is in the Star Hall of Daotian Peak. This is a huge palace with many powerful formations arranged around it. There are also many Daotian Sect law enforcement officers patrolling the surrounding area, guarding the safety of Fanqing Palace. Chen Luo and Li Yener slowly walk towards the Star Hall. There are people from other peaks around, and they also bring the disciples they have found here to register information. However, this matter is usually completed by ordinary disciples within the peak. The current member of Tianzhu Peak is Chen Luo. So Chen Luo can only do this by himself. Hey, isn't this junior brother Chen? No, he should be called junior brother Chen now. In the Fanqing Palace, a slightly charming voice came into Chen Luo's ears. On one side of the Fanqing Palace, a charming and graceful woman wearing a long red dress slowly walked towards Chen Luo. The woman's skin is like cream, white with pink hints, and her smile is touching. The person who came was none other than the peak master of Mingxia Peak of Daotian Sect. Mingxia Peak is also a powerful main peak of Daotian Sect and has a lot of popularity in Daotian Sect. Name, Xuyuewu. Age. 32 years old, Realm, Saint Realm 9 Heavens, Identity, Daotian Sect, Master of Mingxia Peak, Physique, Taiyin Body, Qualification, Holy Grade, Qualification of the Great Sage. This master of Mingxia Peak turned out to be a peak saint at the 9th level of the Saint Realm, and he was only 32 years old. This was incredible. This Daotian Sect is really Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. In addition, the Taiyin Body is also a top-notch special constitution. It is said that if it can be cultivated with the Taiyin Body, it will have a very effective effect on improving cultivation. If I could. What am I thinking? I can become stronger just by lying down. Don't think too much. I've met Master Shu, senior sister. Chen Luo took a deep breath, suppressed his thoughts, and said hello to Xu Yuewu. The peak masters of the major peaks of Daotian Sect are all called by their peers. Chen Luo was Wang Lishuan's apprentice before, so he wanted to call Xu Yuewu his uncle. Now, Chen Luo is already the peak master of Tianzhu Peak, and is called senior sister. Junior brother Chen, I was thinking of taking you to our Mingxia Peak when you couldn't make it in Tianzhu Peak anymore. Now, it seems that you are no longer needed. Xu Yuewu raised her eyebrows and looked at Li Yener, who was not far away. As Xu Yuewu spoke, she walked towards Chen Luo, and her green jade fingers lightly brushed across Chen Luo's chest. A faint fragrance entered Chen Luo's nose, which was extremely dazzling. More than a month ago, when Wang Lishuan brought Chen Luo into the Starry Palace, he met the master of Mingxia Peak. At that time, the master of Mingxia Peak made Chen Luo blush with a few words. Moreover, at that time, the master of Mingxia Peak also told Chen Luo's master that he wanted to take Chen Luo to Mingxia Peak for careful care. Wang Lishuan refused, of course, and Chen Luo didn't want to have much contact with the master of Mingxia Peak. He was not a character that could be easily provoked. Now Chen Luo is of course not afraid. With a powerful divine body and cultivation, he is confident that he can solve all problems. However, this Mingxia Peak master ran into the gun, and Chen Luo would not indulge her. Sister Shu, thank you for your kindness. I promised master that I would protect the inheritance of Tianzhu Peak. Chen Luo then grabbed Xu Yuewu's slender wrist and said slowly. Xu Yuewu exuded a charming aura all over her body. Her wrist was even more soft and boneless, making people love it, and Chen Luo could not suppress his restlessness a little. In addition, Xu Yuewu's charming cheeks and the turbulent waves made Chen Luo, a senior planner who was used to seeing the styles of many countries, a little unpredictable. Chapter 15 Conflict in the Starry Palace. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xu Yuewu was stunned. but she didn't expect Chen Luo to directly hold her wrist. "Junior brother Chen Luo, is this how you treat senior sister?" Shu Yuewu licked her lips and looked at Chen Luo with charming eyes. Chen Luo's lips twitched slightly at this, but he didn't expect that Shu Yuewu was not timid at all. "What's wrong, senior sister Shu, is there anything wrong with what I did?" Chen Luo then directly exerted a slight force on his right hand. He immediately embraced Shu Yuewu into his arms, and the warm and soft breath immediately filled Chen Luo's body. Shu Yuewu's pupils shrank and she made a small, weak sound. "Junior brother Chen Luo, you." Shu Yuewu bit her red lips with eyes filled with awe. Shu Yuewu said, still twisting her body, trying to break away from Chen Luo's embrace. However, unexpectedly, there was no reaction. Chen Luo's arm was extremely powerful and he couldn't break free at all. Moreover, while twisting his body, he seemed to have accidentally touched something strange. Shu Yuewu's face suddenly turned red with embarrassment. "Senior sister Shu, I was just joking." "Senior sister Shu won't be angry, right?" Chen Luo said softly, and then let go of Shu Yuewu. Li Yener, who was not far away, saw the scene in front of her. Her delicate cheeks turned red. Looking at Chen Luo in front of her, Shu Yuewu felt a little dazed. He knew his own strength very well. Although he did not use all his strength, it was obviously not something that a mere mortal could control. "Junior brother Chen Luo, of course you won't be angry anymore. If you have time, you can come to our Mingxia Peak and play some fun games with you." Shu Yuewu raised her eyebrows, and then said to Chen Luo with a smile, "I will go when I have time." Chen Luo replied. After Shu Yuewu finished speaking, she twisted her charming waist and left Fanqing Palace in a charming manner. "Master, this person is not a good woman at first glance, don't be fooled by her." Li Yener then came to Chen Luo and said to Chen Luo with a small mouth, "You little girl, what do you know?" Chen Luo nodded. Li Yener's smooth forehead and curled his lips. "The master of Mingxia Peak is not a simple person." Wang Lixuan told Chen Luo before that the Daotian sect did not have a peak like Mingxia Peak. The predecessor of Mingxia Peak was Mingxia Peak, which, like Tianzhu Peak, was the bottom branch. Later, Shu Yuewu joined Mingxia Peak and changed Mingxia Peak's name to Mingxia Peak. Originally, everyone was opposed to it. After all, each branch of Daotian's sect has been passed down for a long time and has never had a name change. However, Shu Yuewu didn't know why, but she got the support of the sect leader, and later, she successfully changed her name. Moreover, under Shu Yuewu's methods and management, in just a few years, Mingxia Peak has become one of the top branches of Daotian's sect. Moreover, although this Shu Yuewu seemed to be wild, there was no bad news. With any of the monks, there were many powerful peak leaders who wanted to pursue Shu Yuewu, but they were all rejected by him. No one in the Daotian sect dared to talk about the peak master in private. Those who did not know what was good or bad disappeared silently in the end. Even the disciples of Daoyuan Peak were no exception. "Humph, you're too small." Li Yener straightened her chest and pursed her lips. Chen Luo glanced slightly to show respect, and then continued to take Shu Yuewu in to register information. "Elder Zhao, I'm here to register the information for my disciple." After a while, Chen Luo walked to the depths of Fanqing Palace and said to a middle-aged man wearing a purple robe, "Name, Xuanhuan. Age, 863 years old, Realm, Saint Realm 5th Heaven. Identity, Daotian Sect, Elder of Fanqing Palace, Physique, Body of Wood Spirit, Qualification, Saint, Qualification of a Saint." This middle-aged man is the Elder of Fanqing Palace, responsible for registering information for Daotian Sect disciples. When Wang Lixuan took Chen Luo to Daotian Sect before, this elder also registered the information. "It's Master Chen." "No problem. Is this your disciple?" Zhao Wenyao then asked Chen Luo. Chen Luo nodded, and then introduced some basic information about Li Yener. "Wait a minute, isn't it a bit unreasonable for Chen Luo, a mortal, to find just anyone to occupy our Daotian Sect spiritual cultivation land?" At this moment, a high-spirited voice sounded in Fanqing Palace. Chen Luo frowned slightly. Someone would mess with him even if he registered information. Not far away, a middle-aged man wearing a blue robe walked over majestically. The man was tall, with thick eyebrows and big eyes, and walked over with a steady pace. Name, Song Yanglin. Age, 1032 years old, realm, Saint Realm 6th Heaven, identity, Eastern Region Daotian Zone, Master of Yuntian Peak, physique, Yin Spirit Body, qualification, Saint, qualification of a saint. Is he the Peak Master of Yuntian Peak? Chen Luo's eyes were slightly narrowed, he couldn't remember any disagreements he had with the Peak Master of Yuntian Peak. Moreover, his master had kept a low profile at Tianzhu Peak before and rarely conflicted with others. Why would this Yuntian Peak Master be hostile to himself? Brother Song, regardless of whether junior brother Chen Luo is immortal or not, as long as he recruits disciples from Tianzhu Peak according to the sect rules, Tianzhu Peak will still belong to junior brother Chen Luo. This is the sect rule. Do you want to violate it? Xuanhuan, who was standing aside, then walked to the side of Chen Luo and said to Song Yanglin, who was not far away. The conversation between the two immediately attracted other disciples of the Starry Hall, who gathered around to watch. Why did the Master of Yuntian Peak conflict with the Master of Starry Hall? What happened? It seems to be related to that Master of Tianzhu Peak, Chen Luo. I remember that the Master of Yuntian Peak has a younger brother who also wants to join the Daotian sect and occupy a branch. He was originally waiting for Chen Luo's Tianzhu Peak to be taken back and then take over. I didn't expect Chen Luo to have fooled such a beautiful disciple from somewhere. So that's the case. I heard about it too. Many disciples around were talking, do you want my Tianzhu Peak? Chen Luo shook his head slightly. If he were still immortal, he would have let him do what he wanted. But unfortunately, he was not. Junior brother Zhao, do you really want to stand up for such a waste? Moreover, you know that my brother is not simple, and you can't afford to offend him. Song Yanglin stared at Xuanhuan with cold eyes, not taking Chen Luo beside him into consideration at all. More and more disciples were watching around, and everyone was watching the conflict in the Starry Palace with great interest. There were many conflicts in Daotian sect on weekdays, and the disciples of each peak would often have some conflicts. This was normal, however, they rarely saw such a struggle at the level of Peak Master. Now that they finally had this opportunity, they would not let it go. Li Yener behind Chen Luo did not have any worry. She was extremely confident in Chen Luo. Before, she easily solved two saints in the sky above Tianfeng City. This Peak Master of Yuntian Peak could never be Chen Luo's opponent. Chapter 16 Causes of Conflict. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In Fanqing Hall, everyone's eyes were looking at the elders of Fanqing Hall and the Peak Master of Yuntian Peak. The atmosphere in the hall seemed to be getting more and more solemn, and it seemed that it was about to explode at any time. Elder Zhao, leave it to me, I will deal with this guy. Chen Luo slowly walked up to Xuanhuan and said calmly. Junior brother Chen Luo, this Master of Yuntian Peak is a top master in the Saint Realm, you. Xuanhuan said with a worried look in his eyes. Chen Luo, when I call you Peak Master, you really think you are the Peak Master? When your master was alive, you didn't dare to be so arrogant, just you. Before Xuanhuan finished speaking, Song Yanglin, who was not far away, continued to sarcastically say, as Song Yanglin spoke, he also displayed his powerful momentum. Suddenly, the entire Fanqing Palace seemed to be oppressed by Song Yanglin's terrifying momentum. The expressions of many disciples around them suddenly changed, and they felt as if they were being enveloped by countless violent storms. Song Yanglin looked at Chen Luo with cold eyes, as if he had seen Chen Luo being severely suppressed by his own momentum. Boom! Chen Luo stepped out, and a terrifying and unparalleled aura suddenly surged out of Chen Luo's body. The divine power belonging to the chaos divine body was released brazenly, instantly shattering Song Yanglin's momentum. Then, the majestic momentum moved towards Song Yanglin to suppress him fiercely. Song Yanglin's expression suddenly changed. The power of Chen Luo's chaos divine body was too powerful for Song Yanglin to bear. The majestic momentum suppressed Song Yanglin. The bones in his body made a faint cracking sound, and severe pain instantly filled Song Yanglin's whole body. You, how could? Song Yanglin said tremblingly with a pale face, his eyes full of disbelief. Bang! A moment later, Song Yanglin's body was instantly blown away by the terrifying Qi machine, and he was knocked directly out of the Star Hall. Zhao Wenyao looked at the scene in front of him with dull eyes. The scene in front of him was completely beyond Zhao Wenyao's imagination. He did not expect that Chen Luo's strength would suddenly become so strong. Just relying on the pressure of his momentum, he was able to directly blow away Yuntian Peak Master who was stronger than himself. This strength was simply outrageous. Chen Luo was just a mortal more than a month ago. Why did he become so? Zhao Wenyao's heart was full of questions. However, Zhao Wenyao didn't say much. Everyone has their own secrets. Perhaps this is why Wang Lixuan chose Chen Luo. Not only Zhao Wenyao, but also other disciples around him were dumbfounded. Didn't you say that this Chen Luo is just a mortal? Why is he so strong? He must be cheating. It seems that the rumors are wrong. The master of Yuntian Peak is a top expert in the Saint realm, but he was easily defeated. The rumors mislead me. Yes, who said Chen? Master Chen is immortal. Come out quickly and get beaten. Have you ever seen such a fierce mortal? The disciples around him made some comments and looked at Chen Luo with respect and a hint of enthusiasm. This is the awe of the strong. Li Yener also had a look of admiration. Although I knew my master was very strong, I didn't expect him to be this strong. Chen Luo looked at the direction where Song Yanglin was blown away, with no expression on his face. If he wasn't in Daotian's sect, Chen Luo would have killed him on the spot. Elder Zhao, continue to register information. Chen Luo then put away his thoughts and said to Zhao Wenyao beside him. Zhao Wenyao came back to his senses and looked at Chen Luo with a completely different look. Immediately afterwards, Zhao Wenyao continued to register information for Li Yener. Damn it, how did this Chen Luo become so powerful? That among the pile of broken boulder fragments outside the main hall of Fanqing Palace, Song Yanglin's face was gloomy and there was a trace of scarlet blood at the corner of his mouth. There were many disciples in the distance looking at the Peak Master of Yuntian Peak with confusion. I don't know why this powerful Peak Master of Yuntian Peak appears here. His master must have left some means for him, otherwise it would be impossible. He was just a mortal more than a month ago, and now he suddenly has such strong strength. It is impossible. Song Yanglin held on to his body and wanted to continue in, but when he thought of Chen Luo's terrifying momentum just now, he still felt a little nervous. Forget it, wait until I recover from my injuries before coming back. Song Yanglin comforted himself, and then turned into a stream of light and left Daoyuan Peak directly. Zhao Wenyao quickly registered the information for Li Yener. From now on, Li Yener is an official disciple of Daotian sect, and Chen Luo doesn't have to worry about his Tianzhu Peak being taken back. Elder Zhao, who is Song Yanglin's younger brother? Does he have a big connection? After registering the information, Chen Luo continued to ask Zhao Wenyao. Although Chen Luo is now the Peak Master of Tianzhu Peak and is very powerful, he has only been in Daotian sect for a short time and does not know much about the major peaks of Daotian sect. Zhao Wenyao touched his chin, seeming to be thinking about something. The younger brother of Peak Master Song is named Song Yangmu. It is said that he has a powerful king's body, has the qualifications of a saint king, and has a quite powerful reputation in the central region. Moreover, his younger brother Song Yangmu seems to be an elder of Xiantian Holy Land in the central region. He left Xiantian Holy Land some time ago and plans to join our Daotian sect and become the Peak Master of Tianzhu Peak. Zhao Wenyao pondered for a moment and then continued, the guy with the king body. The elder of Xiantian Holy Land, he left the Holy Land for some reason and wanted to come to Daotian sect to be the Peak Master. Chen Luo frowned slightly. Although Daotian sect was powerful, it was still a little different from those top-level Holy Land giants. An elder of a Holy Land had a high status. Chen Luo didn't quite understand why a secondary force Daotian sect came to be the Peak Master. Li Yener was obediently behind Chen Luo, listening quietly to their conversation. He is an elder of a Holy Land and came to our Daotian sect to be the Peak Master. Is there anything wrong with his brain? Chen Luo continued with a strange look. Ahem, junior brother Chen Luo, don't you know? Should I know? Chen Luo was even more puzzled. Is this something I, who has just joined Daotian sect for more than a month, should know? Could it be that our Daotian sect is a top-level force that is hidden very deeply? Maybe your master forgot to tell you, I'll tell you now. Zhao Wenyao continued in a deep voice. Although our Daotian sect is not a Holy Land level force, it has been passed down in the ancient continent for tens of thousands of years. There is a top-grade dragon vein under each branch. If you absorb dragon energy on the dragon vein to practice, you can get several times the speed of practice. Chapter 17, Top Quality Dragon Vein. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhao Wenyao's voice rang in Chen Luo's ears, top-grade dragon veins. Practicing with the help of dragon energy can improve the speed of cultivation. Chen Luo's eyes narrowed slightly. Our Daotian sect still has this good thing, no wonder that guy, as an elder of Tianxian Holy Land, came to compete for the position of the master of Tianzhu Peak. The cultivation of practitioners is to go against the will of heaven and seize the fortune of heaven and earth. Anything that can improve the speed of cultivation is extremely precious, not to mention the top-grade dragon veins. It can be used for a long time and is a very rare treasure. However, why didn't that cheap master tell me? Immediately afterwards, Zhao Wenyao also told Chen Luo the location of the dragon vein of Tianzhu Peak. Thank you, Elder Zhao, for reminding me. Otherwise, such a good thing will be wasted by me. Chen Luo then thanked Zhao Wenyao. At the same time, he also took out some thousand-year-old spiritual fruits and gave them to Zhao Wenyao. Just now, Zhao Wenyao was willing to stand up for him, and Chen Luo was still quite surprised. Although Chen Luo doesn't like to practice, he certainly won't refuse this treasure that can improve the speed of practice. Moreover, if he doesn't practice, he can also practice for his apprentice. The faster she practices, the higher her own cultivation level will be. Elder Zhao, since the matter is over, I will take my leave first. I will go back to see the superb dragon vein. After a brief greeting, Chen Luo said. By the way, junior brother Chen, in a month, it will be our Daotian sect's disciple-taking ceremony. If you want to take in some disciples, you can come and take a look. Zhao Wenyao nodded and then said to Chen Luo. Chen Luo's eyes lit up at the disciple-taking ceremony. This is good. If you take in more disciples with holy qualifications, you can really prepare for retirement and lie down. Chen Luo has made up his mind. In the disciple-taking ceremony in a month, he must take in more tool people, good disciples, to strengthen Tianzhu Peak. Yener, let's go. Your master will take you back to our Tianzhu Peak. Chen Luo then said goodbye to Zhao Wenyao and said to Li Yener. Li Yener nodded obediently, and then went to Tianzhu Peak with Chen Luo. Finally back. Chen Luo looked at everything he was familiar with, and suddenly felt comfortable and relaxed. Tianzhu Peak was filled with rich spiritual energy and a faint fragrance. The 1,000-year-old spiritual peach tree not far away also exuded a rich fruity fragrance. Various spiritual plants were planted everywhere on the mountain, and spiritual power was permeated. Is this Tianzhu Peak? It is worthy of being the place where master practices. It is indeed a place of destiny. That the spiritual power and fragrance that came to her face made Li Yener feel as if she was in a fairyland. Under the rendering of the rich spiritual power of heaven and earth, the spiritual power in Li Yener's body was running at a very fast speed. Even if she was not practicing, her cultivation seemed to be slowly improving. If I practice here, I will definitely be able to catch up with Lin Yan as soon as possible. At this time, Li Yener was full of confidence. Xiao Bai, take Yener to familiarize herself with the environment. I'll go and rest first. Chen Luo then summoned Xiao Bai. Master, let's go and see the top-grade dragon vein first. Adisi, I'm very curious. Xiao Bai then lay on Chen Luo's shoulder and said to Chen Luo, yes, there is also a dragon vein. It's time to go and see it. Let's go, Yener, let's go and see what effect this top-grade dragon vein has. Chen Luo said to Li Yener. Then, the two people and the fox flew towards the place where the top-grade dragon vein of Tianzhu Peak was located. Soon, everyone arrived at the area where the top-grade dragon vein was located. The place where the top-grade dragon vein is located is in a quiet bamboo forest in the east of Tianzhu Peak. In the depths of the bamboo forest, a magic circle that locks the dragon vein is also arranged in the depths of the bamboo forest. Around, inscriptions exuding a mysterious atmosphere are constantly circulating around. Chen Luo took out the Peak Master token and took Li Yener directly into the bamboo forest. The moment they entered the bamboo forest, Chen Luo and Li Yener both felt an inexplicable force around them. This force continued to flow in the body, as if it had ignited the spiritual power in the body. Under the nourishment of this force, the speed of spiritual power suddenly increased a lot. Chen Luo's chaos divine body unconsciously started to operate. Although there was no blessing from any cultivation method, the spontaneous absorption speed of the chaos divine body was also greatly improved. It was so cool. Chen Luo felt that he was floating all over, and his cultivation in the body was slowly improving. Xiaobai was also comfortable all over, lying lazily on Chen Luo's shoulders, absorbing the mysterious power around him. The two continued to walk towards the central area of the bamboo forest. The closer they got to the center of the bamboo forest, the more terrifying the mysterious power around them became. Is this the power of the top-grade dragon vein? It's really powerful. Chen Luo murmured, obviously, this is the area where the top-grade dragon vein is located. No wonder that guy gave up the position of the Elder of the Holy Land to fight for a small position of the Peak Master. Chen Luo understood it in his heart. This terrifying training amplification effect is indeed worth fighting for. However, it is a pity that Tianzhu Peak is mine. After a while, the two arrived at the center of the bamboo forest. There are many mysterious runes carved in the center of the bamboo forest, and there seems to be an extremely powerful force surging out from under the ground veins. Li Yener, who was standing by, had already entered the state of cultivation. Under the operation of Li Yener, the technique and the water spirit body absorbed the surrounding power at a very fast speed. After Li Yener fell into the state of cultivation, Chen Luo felt that the spiritual power in his body was absorbed more rapidly. The spiritual power of the various spiritual fruits he had eaten before was constantly rioting and raging wildly in his body. Boom! At this moment, a very huge momentum suddenly appeared on Li Yener's body. A powerful spiritual power storm appeared around Li Yener. This spiritual power storm almost tore everything apart. Chen Luo narrowed his eyes slightly. Yener was about to break through. Don't destroy this bamboo forest. I like it very much. Then, Chen Luo activated the formation in the bamboo forest. The power of the formation burst out and suppressed Li Yener's chi riot. However, this had no effect on Li Yener. The spiritual power in her body was also running at a very fast speed. The aura was slowly increasing and rushing towards the realm of creation. After a while, the spiritual power around Li Yener became more turbulent, and the aura around her was trembling slightly. She was about to break through. Chen Luo's eyes lit up, and he could see at a glance that Li Yener was on the verge of a breakthrough and would be able to break through soon. Bang! After a moment, a fierce aura appeared on Li Yener's body. Chapter 18 Apprentice Gift Pack. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The qi surged in all directions, creating a violent wave of qi. The waves of qi seemed to surge like a tide. At the same time, Li Yener also broke through completely, and the aura of the creation realm circulated around Li Yener. The creation realm is the next realm after the nirvana realm. It is already very powerful to break through to the creation realm at the age of 18. Ding, congratulations to the host's apprentice for breaking through to the creation realm. Reward the apprentice with a training gift pack. At this moment, the system's prompt sounded in Chen Luo's mind. Chen Luo was stunned. Li Yener broke through and there was a gift pack. This system is so great. What good things will this gift pack have? Open the gift pack for me, Chen Luo urged in his heart. Ding, the gift pack is opening, please wait. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the holy level top grade skills, the Sea Infinite Sutra. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the saint level high grade martial arts, Luo Shui Holy Fist. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the saint level mid grade elixir, Lingyuan Holy Pill * 100 bottles. Not bad, martial arts, elixirs, everything is available. Moreover, the grades are all saint level top grade martial arts, saint level high grade martial arts, saint level mid grade elixirs. This big gift package is really good. Lingyuan Holy Pill is a saint level elixir that can improve cultivation, even for the saint realm. The value is extremely amazing. Chen Luo's previous multiple sign-ins did not have this thing reward. This system is quite generous, directly gave 100 bottles, which should be enough for my own cultivation. Cultivation, I don't practice, why give it to me? By the way, this elixir can be given to Li Yener. The creation realm uses this holy elixir to improve cultivation, absolutely awesome. This technique can also be used by her. Improving her cultivation speed is equivalent to improving mine. Moreover, this, Infinite Ocean Sutra, is also a water-attributed technique. When combined with her water spirit saint body, it will be twice as effective with half the effort, killing many birds with one stone. I'm such a genius. Master, I've made a breakthrough. At this time, Li Yener slowly opened her eyes, staring at Chen Luo with her charming eyes, her eyes full of gratitude. If it weren't for Chen Luo, how could she have made a breakthrough so quickly, and there is such a superior cultivation environment? Yes, but the realm of creation is just a small step in cultivation, don't be proud. Chen Luo touched Li Yener's head and said softly. Master, don't worry, I won't slack off, I will definitely practice well and live up to your reputation, Li Yener said, clenching her little pink fist. By the way, close your eyes, I have a technique specially prepared for you. Chen Luo continued slowly. Hearing this, Li Yener looked at Chen Luo with even more moved eyes. Then, Li Yener closed her eyes. Chen Luo's finger touched the center of Li Yener's brow, and suddenly, a mysterious breath rushed into Li Yener's mind. This was exactly the Infinite Sea Sutra that Chen Luo had just obtained from the system. This Luo Shui Holy Fist should also be given to her, Chen Luo thought in his heart. Then, Infinite Sea Sutra and Luo Shui Holy Fist were both passed on to Li Yener by Chen Luo. After a while, the preaching was finished, and Li Yener was so shocked that she couldn't speak. Chen Luo gave her the ultimate saint-level skills, and such a powerful martial arts. Li Yener had never seen such a profound thing. Every word on this Luo Shui Holy Fist carries an incomparable holy power. Master. I'm so touched. Li Yener couldn't hold back any longer, and she leaned into Chen Luo's arms and started crying. Although Li Yener was also a prodigy of Xuanhuan Sect before, she was extremely talented. However, in Xuanhuan Sect, if you want to obtain cultivation resources and various techniques, you have to go through various harsh tests. You also have to contribute to the sect and complete various tasks. Although Li Yener's current techniques and martial arts are all earth level, however, they were all obtained from Xuanhuan Sect after she worked hard for a long time. Only she knows the pain. Now, Chen Luo didn't ask her to do anything, but provided her with such a good cultivation environment, various spiritual fruits, and dragon veins. He even gave her the best techniques and martial arts of the saint level. Li Yener couldn't express her feelings in words. Chen Luo looked at the beautiful woman in tears in front of him, and he didn't react for a while. It seems that this girl had suffered a lot of grievances before. Chen Luo remembered that Li Yener's experience was that she was the enemy of Lin Yan, the son of destiny. After being defeated by Lin Yan in the 3-year agreement, she was almost spurned by the entire sect. She was a little girl, even if she had some cultivation, but how could she withstand so many rumors? Chen Luo stroked the girl's hair and let her vent his emotions. Master, Yener will serve you wholeheartedly in the future, and will never leave you. After a long while, Li Yener's emotions calmed down a little, and then she choked. Tears slid down Li Yener's face and soon wet Chen Luo's shoulders. Xiaobai, who was not far away, looked at the two of them with a faint look in his eyes, full of resentment. You said you would accept a disciple, but why did you just hug him? That's my exclusive position, damn it. Okay, if you keep crying, you'll turn into a little cat. Chen Luo wiped Li Yener's face and said softly. Soon, Li Yener sorted out her mood and wiped away her tears. By the way, let me give you this too. It's not easy to catch up with Lin Yan. Chen Luo then took out a few bottles of Lingyuan Xingdan and handed them to Li Yener. Master, this won't work. Li Yener saw this extremely terrifying pill and quickly refused. Although Li Yener didn't know what level of pill this was, the terrifying aura contained in it made Li Yener feel palpitations. It must be an extremely precious thing. Don't refuse. I have a lot of this thing here. Chen Luo then said casually. Li Yener bit her lips slightly, holding the pill in her hand, with tears on her delicate cheeks. looking pitiful and extremely pitiful. Master, you are so good to me, how can I repay you? Li Yener then took advantage of Chen Luo's unpreparedness and kissed him on the face. A warm breath flowed over Chen Luo's face, and this warmth was mixed with a hint of fragrance, which was refreshing. Chapter 19 Special Mission. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the bamboo forest, a beautiful and graceful girl, blushing, kissed a handsome young man who looked like a fallen immortal. The air was filled with a youthful and moving atmosphere. Master, I'm going to practice. Li Yener's gentle voice sounded in Chen Luo's ears, and then she ran away with a blushing face. Li Yener didn't expect that she would be so bold, but she did it, and she didn't regret it. Only Chen Luo was left in the bamboo forest, at a loss. This, was secretly kissed. Chen Luo looked at Li Yener, who ran away like a frightened little rabbit, and his heart was a little unresponsive. This little girl. Chen Luo looked at the girl who ran away and shook his head slightly. He was actually teased by a little girl, Xiao Bai, who was not far away, had his eyes wide open, and rubbed his eyes with his milky white claws, and couldn't believe what he saw. This stinky girl, woo, is really here with bad intentions. I have to practice quickly and transform quickly. Otherwise, my master will really be taken away by this stinky girl. Xiao Bai's heart ignited a raging fighting spirit, and then he also went to the place next to him where the dragon vein power was strong to practice. Chen Luo certainly did not notice Xiao Bai's abnormality, but just suppressed his thoughts. On the other side, Li Yener has already started to practice the holy level top-grade exercises that Chen Luo gave her. This exercise seemed to be tailor-made for her. Li Yener quickly got the hang of it. The moment the Infinite Sea Sutra was running, Li Yener seemed to have turned into a sea, huge and peaceful. The surrounding spiritual power and various powers are like rivers flowing into the sea, flowing into Li Yener's whole body. With the operation of the water spirit holy body and the Infinite Sea Sutra, Li Yener's practice speed has increased by an unknown amount. Not to mention, Li Yener also swallowed the Lingyuan holy pill given to her by Chen Luo, and her practice speed has reached an unknown level. At the same time, Chen Luo's cultivation was also slowly increasing. Is this cultivation effect so good? Chen Luo looked at Li Yener in the distance, who seemed to have turned into a giant soul-devouring beast, and a trace of strangeness could not help but arise in his heart. Otherwise, let's practice. With such a good practice environment, Chen Luo couldn't help but think in his heart, pooh. I can't practice even if I'm beaten to death. I can become stronger just by lying down. Why should I practice? I can't practice in this life. I can only rely on the return effect of my apprentice's practice to improve my strength. Yes, I must not be confused by such a scene. Time is up. I want to take a nap, and I won't practice even if I'm beaten to death. Ding, the host's strong desire to practice and become stronger is detected, and a special task is now issued. Strong desire to practice. Special task. Chen Luo was stunned. What does this dog system mean? Does it want to issue a task to trick me into practicing? Want to trick me into practicing? No way, I will never practice. No matter what task you send, I will never practice. Special task. Please practice and break through to the 4th level of the Saint Realm. After practicing and breaking through, you will get the Emperor level skills. Just when Chen Luo was righteously refusing in his heart, the mechanical sound of the system sounded in Chen Luo's ears. Emperor level skills. Chen Luo's body froze. He didn't expect the system to bring out this killer. I like practicing the most. Isn't it just practicing? Come on, practice. Chen Luo took a deep breath, and finally couldn't resist the temptation of the Emperor level skills. Practicing to the 4th level of the Saint Realm will reward the Emperor level skills, so practice to the 4th level of the Saint Realm and get the skills first. Chen Luo then went to an area where the power of the dragon veins was extremely turbulent. At the same time, he began to practice the Sea Infinite Sutra. Soon, Chen Luo entered the state of practice, and countless spiritual powers surged towards Chen Luo like a tide. The power of the Chaos Divine Body was also fully exerted by Chen Luo, and countless Chaos Divine lights flowed on Chen Luo's body. For a while, several people from Tianzhu Peak entered the cultivation. Time passed slowly. At the same time, the conflict in the Starry Hall was also spread. Many people knew that the current peak master of Tianzhu Peak was not an ordinary person. In the Starry Hall, the Peak Master of Yuntian Peak suffered a great loss, which no one expected. In everyone's eyes, Chen Luo was just an ordinary person, and suddenly he turned into an unpredictable person, which made everyone unbelievable. However, many disciples saw the conflict in the Starry Hall. Chen Luo's identity was shrouded in mystery in the eyes of everyone in Daotian Sect. Yuntian Peak. Yuntian Peak is in the northern area of Daotian Sect. There is a gloomy Yin aura everywhere here. In the deepest part of Yuntian Peak, there is a large Yinwood forest. Due to its unique geographical environment, it has a unique effect on the cultivation of Yin attributes. Therefore, most of the disciples of Yuntian Peak are also disciples of Yin attributes. Of course, there are also many disciples from other peaks who would spend spirit stones to cultivate with the help of the unique environment of Yuntian Peak. Yuntian Peak is not the most powerful of the 9 branches of Daotian Sect, but it is also the backbone of Daotian Sect, a palace with a strong Yin energy on Yuntian Peak. Brother, what they said is true. That Chen Luo really repelled you in the Starry Palace. A surprised voice sounded in the palace. On one side of the palace, a man in a purple robe frowned slightly. Next to the purple-robed man, Song Yanglin, the master of Yuntian Peak, sat aside with a slightly ugly face, sipping spiritual tea. Yes, although I don't want to admit it, I did suffer a lot at the hands of that Chen Luo. Song Yanglin said in a deep voice, and the hand holding the teacup trembled unconsciously. In this case, this Tianzhu Peak may not be so easy to get. The purple-robed man next to him continued. This purple-robed man is Song Yanglin's younger brother, Song Yangmu. Yangmu, don't worry, that Chen Luo must have relied on the means left by his master. He was just a mortal more than a month ago. Now, no matter how strong he is, he can't have too strong strength. When I find an opportunity, I will definitely be able to take down Tianzhu Peak. Song Yanglin continued, his eyes full of fierceness. Chen Luo made him suffer such a big loss in front of the crowd in the Starry Palace, and he almost lost face. No matter what, this place must be recovered as soon as possible. Song Yanmu looked at his brother with a frown. He felt that his brother seemed to be really angry with Chen Luo. Brother, it's not necessary to go to Tianzhu Peak. If Chen Luo is so weird, then forget it. Besides, don't we have an alternative branch? It's nothing more than spending more time. There's no need to fight to the death on Tianzhu Peak. Song Yangmu continued. Chapter 20, Imperial Grade Kung Fu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. No, I have to take down Tianzhu Peak. Yangmu, just wait. Song Yanglin drank the spiritual tea in one gulp and then left the palace, looking at his brother's departing figure. Song Yangmu unconsciously had a bad premonition in his heart. Half a month later, Tianzhu Peak, in the bamboo forest where the dragon vein is located, Chen Luo absorbed the spiritual power of the surrounding heaven and earth with all his strength. At the same time, the spiritual essence holy pill in his body was also digested rapidly. The whole bamboo forest was in a wave of spiritual power, and the bamboo forest seemed to have completely become a spiritual power ocean. Chen Luo's aura became more and more powerful, as if to suppress everything. After half a month of practice, Chen Luo finally reached the peak of the 3rd level of the saint, and was only one step away from the 4th level of the saint. Are you still a little bit short? Chen Luo opened his eyes slightly, then he took out a 10,000-year spiritual fruit from his space ring. This 10,000-year-old spiritual fruit was a reward for signing in for 30 days 10 days ago, from a 10,000-year-old red spiritual fruit tree. The 10,000-year red spiritual fruit is extremely precious, and contains extremely rich spiritual power of heaven and earth. Moreover, there are only 9 fruits on this 10,000-year red spiritual fruit tree. The next fruit will be a year later, so Chen Luo did not use it casually. Although the Chaos Divine Body has no bottleneck, the resources required for cultivation are much more than those of ordinary cultivators. Chen Luo remembered that he had signed into the 1st level of the Saint's cultivation before. He just ate and drank, and basically did not practice much. Relying on various resources, he also broke through 2 levels in more than half a month. Now, he has practiced so hard, and with the return of Li Yener's cultivation effect, he still has not broken through the 4th level of the Saint. It is conceivable that the resources needed for the Chaos Divine Body to practice and break through. However, everything is worth it. The power of the chaos divine body cannot be exchanged for any resources and treasures. Goyalu. Chen Luo took a deep breath, then suppressed his thoughts and swallowed the 10,000-year-old Zhu Ling fruit directly. The moment the 10,000-year-old Ling fruit was swallowed, Chen Luo felt the spiritual power in his body constantly rioting. The rich spiritual power of heaven and earth continued to rage in his body. It is indeed powerful as the 10,000-year-old Ling fruit. Chen Luo's eyes lit up, and he felt that he was getting closer and closer to the fourth level of the saint. After that, Chen Luo did not waste time and tried his best to refine the spiritual power in his body. Boom! Half an hour later, a more violent momentum surged in Chen Luo's body, and a powerful air wave was swirling around. The aura of the fourth level of the saint exploded in Chen Luo's body. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the task, and reward exclusive Emperor level skills. Chaos Emperor Xianjing. Chaos Emperor Xianjing. Emperor level top grade skills. Chaos without form. The beginning of all things. At the same time, the system's prompt sound also rang in Chen Luo's ears. The formula and cultivation method of Chaos Emperor Xianjing also appeared in Chen Luo's mind, the Imperial level top grade technique. Chen Luo's eyes were full of joy. Not bad, not bad, the system is awesome. It directly pulled the reward to the maximum. Then, Chen Luo continued to practice this, Chaos Emperor Xianjing, according to the formula and cultivation method in his mind. Perhaps because of the chaos divine body, Chen Luo practiced this, Chaos Emperor Xianjing, unexpectedly fast. In less than half an hour, the transformation was completed. An extremely powerful aura surged in Chen Luo's body, as if to suppress the entire world. There were also countless golden divine rays, which made Chen Luo look like an unparalleled god. The surrounding heaven and earth spiritual power formed a storm, constantly surging towards the direction where Chen Luo was. Li Yener, who was practicing on the other side of the bamboo forest, was also startled by this majestic momentum. The moving eyes stared at the direction where Chen Luo was. What realm is the master in? This terrifying sense of oppression is too strong. Li Yener looked at Chen Luo's practice and felt a little scalp tingling. The golden divine light was extremely terrifying, and it seemed that any bit of divine power could easily wipe her out. This was the premonition of the cultivator and the sixth sense of being a girl. Could it be that the master has surpassed the realm of saints and reached the realm of the king of the holy way? Li Yener was completely unable to describe her feelings in words. The image of the master had completely reached the peak in her heart. Not bad, it is worthy of being an imperial level top grade technique, and it is worth my hard work for half a month of practice. Feeling the spiritual power in his body, Chen Luo felt satisfied. Chaos Emperor Xianjing is an imperial level top grade technique. After practicing, not only the amount of spiritual power has increased several times, but also the strength of spiritual power has been raised to a higher level. Moreover, as the realm is improved, the number and strength will continue to increase. Don't underestimate the difference in the number and strength of spiritual power. In battle, any difference is enough to make the cultivator pay the price of his life. Not to mention, the Emperor level top grade skills are almost several levels stronger than the Saint level ones. They are not at the same level at all. It can be said that although Chen Luo's current realm is still the fourth level of the Saint, with the Emperor level skills, his strength has increased by several times, adding to the terrifying power of the chaos divine body. Chen Luo was confident that he would not find an opponent in the Saint stage. In this way, his strength was considered invincible in the Daotian sect, and Chen Luo's eyes lit up. In any case, the improvement of strength still made people feel happy. Chaos Emperor Xianjing also contained some super powerful magical powers, which were extremely powerful. Chaos Aurora and Chaos Spirit Seal contained the power of chaos, which were extremely powerful and had the power to destroy the world. Chen Luo has not yet succeeded in his practice. He must succeed in his practice before he can use those terrifying magical powers. However, these terrifying magical powers also require a lot of time to practice, and they cannot be used easily. Chen Luo was not in a hurry. There was still a long time, so he took his time. After working so hard for so long, he had to take a good rest. Chen Luo stretched his waist, then slowly got up and prepared to leave the bamboo forest. After half a month of practice, Chen Luo's bones were a little stiff. It was time to take a good rest. Yener, do you want to take a rest? You have been practicing for so long. It is time to rest. Practice should pay attention to the combination of work and rest. Chen Luo then walked to Li Yener's side. There was a very rich spiritual power of heaven and earth around Li Yener. There were some willow leaves emitting spiritual energy on Li Yener's gorgeous dress. Obviously, she had been practicing for half a month without rest.